So this is the face number 59, March 1985. This cover image shot by Jamie Morgan, starred by Ray Petrie, became a really kind of famous kind of landmark issue of the face. Nick Logan, the editor and publisher, always supported kind of strong decisions. So there was a lot of discussion about whether we should even run a black and white cover and you know, whether that was the right commercial thing to do. Particularly, Neville chose to use these quite soft colours on it. So if you think about it, apart from the red, it's quite a muted cover, but that beautiful 4-colour black and white off of this print made it iconic. And of course, the killer cover is now what it's called, and it's become very much sort of a folkloric cover of the magazine. Neville's still the art director. I'm credited very graciously as design, but I'm still really junior to Neville at this point. Amazing to see this kind of like double page contents, you know, being, you know, normally you'd go wade through a load of ads, but back in the day, a double page spread of content straight after the cover, it's quite a strong thing to do. And then, and still no ads at the front of the book. I'm very much designing I remember as I look at these pages, I'm very much designing these things. They've become more complicated. And I'm using color a bit more in these things. But, you know, I'm doing the bits and pieces. Neville is still leading. And the fact I'm showing these films, it's not in any way me trying to take credit for a lot of these. It's very much what Neville was doing. I remember the photographer Chalky Davis had a relationship with the magazine, and, you know, brought us these pictures of Simon Le Bon, which was seen as a bit of a coup at the time. They are time capsules, these magazines. I'm going back through them. I'm looking at these for the first time myself and just being reminded by things. It's kind of mad that the Nick Knight picture, you know, from his Skinhead book to an article about Crombie. I seem to remember designing these pages and Neville just saying, why don't you just hang everything off the top? I remember this photographer and this photograph coming into the magazine. We'd asked a very young David LaChapelle to photograph Patsy Kensit and her band Eighth Wonder for the magazine. Patsy had just won the role of Crepe Suzette in the upcoming film, as yet unshot, of Absolute Beginners. Great picture, actually. I much prefer it to some of the later things David LaChapelle did. Look at that, it's a Neville Brody winner there. Incredible typography, his fonts that he's chopping up, breaking up headlines and turning them into elements of design. These were the things that really made the face stand out, I think. Interesting. Opening with a big headline, a blurb, small picture, and then turning to the full page picture. It's very kind of revolutionary is the wrong word, but very much kind of breaking the rules even there. Turning these headlines into pieces of design. Neville had become a kind of, that's a piece of design. This is a piece of design. It had become very much a trademark of what Neville was doing. I think that was me. I seem to remember that. These fiddly bits of design looks like me. And then trying to, don't know, overcooked when I look at it. Fantastic novel out. It's going to pause on that for a moment. Look, the drop cap T, the headline, a little logo. Beautifully done. This layout is very much a Neville Brody in-joke. He'd taken the M from a feature of the previous issue on Madonna and then turned it upside down into the W and turned it into Warhol, recycling his own work, even leaving the kind of blurb in about Madonna. And that's a tiny bit of the picture of Madonna because we tore out the page from the previous issue and used it as the artwork to make the next, which of course tied in with this idea of Warhol and recycling and repeated imagery. So there is some sort of thought going on here, like the repeated images of the artist himself, the recycling of a previous headline. It's deeper than you think, guys. Oh, beautiful. I love it when magazines kind of turn around like that. Editors kind of hate it, but I always think it looks great and it gives you much bigger kind of pictures. I remember these pictures coming in to the office of Terry Gilliam shooting, I think it's Brazil, yeah, which was seen as incredibly groundbreaking at the time. Political feature on Dennis Skinner. My kind of layout, to be honest, really kind of simple. Headline, blurb, sell, copy start. Beautifully done. Very nicely sized and scaled images. I like layouts like that, funnily enough. Piece on Lovers Rock. Again, just turning the headline into a little badge and then cropping that badge on the following spread. Really nice details of what that Neville was doing. It's interesting that the fashion is put towards the sort of back of the magazine when you look at the sequence of it. This is probably the set of pictures that this issue is most known for. Jamie Morgan, Ray Petrie, Buffalo, this fantastic picture of Felix. I remember Jamie bringing this box of prints to the office and us going through them, and they just blew us away. I think that, I'm sure it was Neville's idea to stage them all with the white frames like this, but just incredible. I mean, just amazing. It's interesting here. There appears to be an ad here for Buffalo Management, which was, of course, Ray Petrie, Roger Charity, Jamie. Not quite sure what this is, but anyway, there's that. So, and then an ABC ad. Iconic issue with the face, number 59, March 85.